Hello, here I am with two other friends. Their name are Vera and Linda. In this video, we are going to present and also explain our PowerPoint about compounding. First is about what is compounding, the meaning of compounding. Compounding is the process of combining two or more free morpheme, exciting word to create a new word. Jadi, compounding adalah penggabungan, merupakan sebuah proses penggabungan dua kata morfem bebas untuk membuat atau membentuk kata baru. For example, black and bird become blackbird. Black is free morpheme and bird is also free morpheme. And then we combine between black and bird become blackbird. That is compounding. Compound are written as one word, two hyphenate word, and two separate word. Compounding atau penggabungan bisa ditulis sebagai satu kata, dua kata dengan tanda penghubung, dan dua kata terpisah. The first one is one word atau satu kata. The example is sunglasses. There are not any blank space between the words sun and glasses. The second one is two hyphenate word atau dua kata dengan tanda penghubung. For example, life-threatening. There is a hyphenate between the word life and threatening. And the last one is two separate word atau dua kata terpisah. For example, is football stadium. We clearly know that there is two separate words, or we can say between the word football and stadium, there is any blank space or space separator.
The next, compound in syntax. In syntax, compound word behave like simple word.
Maksudnya adalah compound atau penggabungan dalam sintaksis biasanya bersifat sederhana. For example, there is a dead bird on the doorstep become there is a dead blackbird on the doorstep. This dead bird replaced by blackbird word as the compound word. Next is about idiosyncratic meaning atau keistimewaan makna. Some of the derived compound tend to have idiosyncratic meaning. Beberapa turunan hasil penggabungan kata cenderung memiliki makna khusus. For example, generate atau menghasilkan become generation atau generasi if we put suffix as the type of morpheme at the end of generate word. These two words has different meaning caused by compounding. The other example is direct atau langsung and direction atau arah. The next is about formation of compound. In synthetic language, the relationship between the element of a compound may be marked with a case or other morpheme. Agglutinative language tend to create very long words with derivational morpheme. Compound may or may not require to use of derivational morpheme also. Jadi, formasi dari compounding ini adalah merupakan hubungan dari elemen-elemen yang ada pada compound tersebut yang ditandai dengan penanda dari morfem tersebut. As we know, yesterday we have learned about the derivational morpheme. Compound kadang membutuhkan derivational morpheme, namun kadang juga tidak membutuhkan. The fourth material is about identification of compound word. They can be identified by meaning atau arti and stress. The first one is meaning atau arti. Sometimes, with a meaning that is simply the sum of the part. Terkadang dengan arti yang merupakan penjumlahan dari bagian-bagiannya. For example, light switch atau saklar lampu. Or sometimes with some sort of figurative nuisance. Terkadang dengan semacam pengertian baru atau kiasan. For example, moonshine.
The second one is stress. Normally, a modifier will be less heavily stressed than the word it modifies. But in compound, the first element is always more heavily stressed. Biasanya, pengubah tidak akan terlalu ditekankan daripada kata yang dimodifikasi. Tetapi dalam compounding, elemen pertama selalu lebih ditekankan.
Subclasses of compound word. Subkelas kata gabungan atau kata majemuk. Semantic classification atau klasifikasi semantik. A common semantic classification of compound yield four types. Klasifikasi semantik kata gabungan menghasilkan 4 jenis, yaitu first one is endocentric atau endocentris, exocentric atau exocentris, copulative atau copulative, and the last one is appositional atau apposisional. The first one is endocentric atau endocentris. An endocentric compound consists of a head. For example, the categorical part that contain the basic meaning of the whole compound and modifiers which restrict this meaning. A plus B denotes special kind of B. Endocentris memiliki kepala yang letaknya di belakang. Kepala ini adalah bagian kategorikal yang mengandung makna dasar dari keseluruhan kata gabungan dan pengubah yang membatasi makna. For example, the English compound dark room, where room is the head and dark is the modifier, is understood as a room that dark cause of the color or the lighting. The second is exocentric atau exocentris. An exocentric compound is a hyponym of some unexpressed semantic category such as a person, plant, or animal, and its meaning often cannot be transparently guessed from its constituent part. For example, the English compound white color is neither a kind of color nor a white thing. In an exocentric compound, the word class is determined lexically disregarding the class of the constituent. For example, a must-have is not a verb but a noun. The meaning of this type of compound can be closed as one whose B is A, where B is the second element of the compound and A the first. A Bahu-Frihi compound is one whose nature is expressed by neither of the words. Thus, a white-collar person is neither white nor a color. The colors is a metonym for socioeconomic status. Other English example include barefoot. Jadi, eksosentris lebih memperhatikan word class atau kelas kata. Eksosentris memiliki word class yang berbeda seperti pada contoh white collar. Antara kata white dan color memiliki arti yang berbeda dan bukan merupakan satu kesatuan. Maknanya, jika white color kita balik menjadi color white akan memiliki arti yang berbeda. Third is copulative compound. Copulative compound are compound with two semantic head, can be recognized by possibility of adding n between the two head. Kata gabungan kopulatif, yaitu kata gabungan dengan dua kepala semantik yang dapat dikenali dengan kemungkinan menambahkan dan di antara kedua kepala. For example, bittersweet and sleepwalk. We can add n between bitter and sweet. And the last one is appositional. Appositional compound refer to lexems that have two contrary attributes which classify that compound. Appositional mengacu pada leksem yang memiliki arti atau klasifikasi yang berlawanan atau bertolak belakang. Example, player coach, someone who is player as well as a coach. Kita tahu bahwa player atau pemain dan coach atau pelatih adalah dua hal yang berbeda atau berlawanan. There is a table about the description and example about endocentric, exocentric, copulative, and appositional. The first type is endocentric. The description. A plus B denotes a special kind of B. Jadi, head-nya ada pada kata kedua. For example, dark room atau small talk. Berarti, kepalanya ada pada kata room and talk. Point ada di kata room and talk, dan dark atau small hanya sebagai modifier. The second one is exocentric. The description. A plus B denote a special kind of an unexpressed semantic head. Kata yang pertama dengan kata yang kedua tidak mengekspresikan dari head atau kepala. For example, red head. Red head ini tidak mengekspresikan arti dari masing-masing kata baik itu red atau head, tetapi menghasilkan arti lain. Bisa dikatakan arti tidak ada pada kedua kata. Copulative type. The description. A plus B denote the sum of what A and B denote. Menyatakan jumlah atau frekuensi dari kata. Jadi bisa dikatakan arti berbanding lurus dengan jumlah atau frekuensi kata. For example, bittersweet and sleepwalk. Appositional types. The description. A and B provide different description for the same referent. Kata A atau kata pertama dan kata B atau kata kedua menyediakan deskripsi berbeda meskipun pada referensi yang sama. For the example, hunter-gatherer and maid-servant.
I'm Linda Octaviani. I will continue the presentation. Compound nouns. Compound nouns are words which give a name to something. Unlike regular nouns, a compound noun is made up of two words. Compound nouns are usually closed form. An example, apple tree, is made up of word apple and word tree. Here is an example of sentence. In the orchard, we have several apple trees and one large oak. Kata benda jamak adalah kata yang memberikan nama pada sesuatu. Tidak seperti kata benda biasanya, kata benda jamak berasal dari dua kata. Di sini contohnya adalah apple tree. Itu berasal dari kata apple dan tree, yang bergabung menjadi satu makna yaitu apple tree atau pohon apel. Here are some examples of compound nouns. It is chopstick, goat face, moonlight, teardrops, haircut, bypass, checkout, sister-in-law, underpants, and so on. Beberapa contoh kata majmuk di sini berasal dari dua jenis kata yang berbeda. Misalkan moonlight. Moonlight berasal dari kata moon yang berarti bulan dan light kata sifat yang berarti cahaya. Another example is haircut, yang mana hair itu kata benda dan cat adalah kata kerja. The compound noun structure is extremely varied in the types of meaning relations it can indicate what someone does. Struktur kata benda jamak memiliki beragam jenis makna yang berkaitan. It can be used to indicate what something is for atau apa kegunaan dari sesuatu tersebut. Misalnya, waste paper basket, what the qualities of something are, atau apa quality dari sesuatu. Contohnya whiteboard, how something works, atau bagaimana sesuatu itu bekerja. Contohnya immersion heater, where something happens, atau kapan sesuatu itu terjadi. For example, night frost, where something is atau di mana biasanya menandakan tempat. Contohnya doormat. And the last, what something is made of atau terbuat dari apa. Example, wood pile. Selanjutnya, compound adjective. Compound adjective are words which are descriptive to modify a noun. Compound adjectives are usually hyphenate when they come before noun. An example of a compound adjective is good-looking. Here is a sentence which contains the word to show how it would work. My boyfriend is good-looking boy. Kata sifat jamak merupakan kata deskriptif untuk memodifikasi kata benda. Kata ini selalu menggunakan garis hubung ketika berada sebelum noun. Pada contoh tersebut ada kata good looking. Di antara kata good dan looking ada garis hubung yang menandakan bahwa kata tersebut adalah compound adjective. Combining an adverb and an adjective does not create a compound adjective. No hyphen is required because it is already clear that the verb is modifies the adjective. Example given, the assignment is extremely hard today. Contoh extremely hard di sini tidak memerlukan garis hubung karena kata extremely di sini sudah jelas memodifikasi kata sifat atau adjective. Compound verbs. Compound verbs are words which describe an action. Unlike a regular verb, a compound verb is made up of two words. Compound verbs are usually open form. An example of compound verb is ask for. Here you can see the word used in a sentence. I like to regularly ask for updates on the project. Kata kerja jamak adalah kata yang mendeskripsikan aksi atau perbuatan. Tidak seperti kata kerja biasanya, kata kerja jamak berasal dari dua kata. Contohnya adalah ask for. Ask for di sini berasal dari dua kata yang bergabung menjadi satu makna. Bentuk dari compound verbs ada 4. Yang pertama adalah prepositional verbs. When a preposition combines with a verb to form a new verb. Prepositional verb usually follow a noun and precede another noun or verbal phrase. Prepositional verb ketika preposisi berkombinasi dengan kata kerja untuk membentuk kata kerja baru. Contoh di sini adalah Ava laughed at Satria's fashion. Kata kerja laugh yang bersanding dengan preposisi at yang membentuk kata baru. Yang kedua adalah phrasal verbs, di mana sebuah kata kerja berkombinasi dengan adverb. For example, Alice turned off the phone at night. Selanjutnya adalah verb with auxiliary, yaitu sebuah verb yang berkombinasi dengan verb lain yang disebut kata kerja bantu atau auxiliary verb. Contohnya adalah Lily was walking around the park. Selanjutnya adalah compound single word verb, yaitu dua atau lebih kata yang berkombinasi untuk membentuk sebuah verb tunggal. For example, I will proofread your essay tomorrow. Proofread di sini adalah kata tunggal yang berasal dari proof dan read. The next is rhyming compound. It is word that contains rhyming element, such as blackjack, fuddy-duddy, pooper-scooper, and voodoo. I don't know it, but sepertinya rhyming compound adalah kata jamak yang berirama. Most commonly found in songs, baby talk, and nursery rhymes. Example, kissy wissy, piggy wiggy. Characteristic of rhyming compound are melodic, easy to remember and pronounce. Selanjutnya, suspend compound. A set of compound nouns or compound adjective in which an element common to all members is not repeated. A hyphen and a space follow the first element of suspend compound. A hyphen with space after it called a hanging hyphen. The difference between the pre and post-test scores is the so-called learning gain. Pre and post di sini memiliki kata hubung dengan spasi setelahnya, yang disebut dengan hanging hyphen, yang membentuk suspend compound.
Example and observation. As observed earlier, compounds are not limited to 2 words. Example, bathroom, tower rack, community center finance committee. The process of compounding seems unlimited in English, starting with a word like sailport, which we can easily expand to the compound sailport ringing design, sailport ringing design training, sailport ringing design training institute, and so on. Jadi compounds itu tidak terbatas pada 2 kata. Proses penggabungannya tidak terbatas dalam bahasa Inggris. Distinguishing features of compounds. In most compounds, the rightmost morpheme determines the category of the entire word. Thus, greenhouse is a noun because its right component is a noun. Spoon feed is a verb because feed also belongs to this category. Nationwide is an adjective just as wide is. Yang membedakan atau menonjolkan dari compounds dalam kebanyakan compounds, morfem paling kanan menentukan kategori seluruh kata. Other features of compound words. In terms of pronunciation, there is an important generalization to be made. Adjective noun compounds are characterized by a more prominent stress on their first component. A second distinguishing feature of compounds in English is that tense and plural makes cannot typical by attached to the first element, although they can be added to the compound as a whole. There are some exceptions, however, such as passerby and park supervisor. Dalam pengucapannya itu ada generalization yang harus dibuat. Adjektif non-compound dicirikan oleh tekanan yang lebih menonjol pada komponen pertama. Tense and plural tidak bisa dilampirkan ke elemen pertama meskipun dapat ditambahkan dan digabungkan secara keseluruhan. Ciri pembeda biasanya tidak bisa ditambahkan ke elemen pertama meskipun bisa ditambahkan ke gabungan secara keseluruhan. Plurals of compounds. Compounds generally follow the regular plural by adding the regular as inflection to their last element. The following two compounds are exceptional in taking the inflection on the first element. Passerby, listeners in. A few compounds ending in full usually take a plural inflection on the last element, but have a less common
plural with the inflection on the first element. Mouthful, mouthfuls or mouthful. Spoonful, spoonfuls or spoonful. Comments ending in law allow the plural either on the first element or informally on the last element. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law or sister-in-laws. Menambahkan S di akhiran. Ada dua gabungan. Compounds yang diakhiri dengan full biasanya menggunakan infleksi jamak di akhir, tetapi memiliki bentuk jamak yang kurang umum dengan infleksi pada elemen pertama. Compounds yang diakhiri in-law memungkinkan bentuk jamak baik pada pertama atau akhiran. Recent trends. Although there is no universally agreed upon guideline regarding the use of compound words in the English language, in recent decades, written English has displayed a noticeable trend towards increased use of compounds. Syllabic abbreviation made by taking syllables of words and computing them, such as pixel, picture element, and bit binary digit. The German spelling form of (1996) introduced the opinion of hibernating compound nouns when it increases comprehensibility and readability. This is done mostly with very long compound words by separating them into two or more smaller compounds, like Eisenbahn, Unterführung, railway underpass, or Gravazus Betriebsnachrichtenbuch manual. Meskipun tidak ada pedoman yang disepakati secara universal mengenai penggunaan kata majemuk dalam bahasa Inggris, dalam beberapa dekade terakhir bahasa Inggris tertulis telah menunjukkan tren yang nyata di arah peningkatan penggunaan kata majemuk. Reformasi ejaan Jerman tahun 1996 memperkenalkan opsi kata benda majemuk dengan tanda penghubung saat hal itu meningkatkan kelengkapan dan keterbacaan. Compounds in the dictionary. The definition of what counts as a single dictionary entry is fluid, thus hard to keep track of. Many compound words have unique entries in the dictionary. Any attempt at further precision is impossible because the unlimited potential for computing and derivation. Clearly, the size of the dictionary records exists for the vocabulary of an individual speaker. Definisi di kamus bisa berubah-ubah, sulit dilacak. Banyak kata gabungan memiliki entry unik dalam kamus. Kebijakan Oxford English Dictionary tentang gabungan dan turunannya menunjukkan betapa kaburnya garis antara kata utama dan senyawa atau turunannya.